Going to start with FIPP, Frontier IP Group. This is one where we gave that blue box reversal zone at 50.7. And we said that, we thought that this is a really long-term reversal zone play. So far we're correct. We've had an absolutely brilliant candle on Friday, sort of closing by sort of touching 22.8 pence and closing around 22. But where to see this heading? Well, for me, I think there's the red box zone here at 50.5 up to 60 pence. So there's still potentially 100 to 200% profit in that one. So FIPP, worth popping on your watch list and doing some research. So far, looking so good. So we should get at least two ways to the upside with that one. So I'm looking forward to riding that one for the short term or medium term and see where that heads. I think we're going to see some news out on that one. It looks pretty exciting. LEXX is my next one, and this is a NASDAQ one. So where do I see this? Well, actually, it's a really difficult one. These NASDAQ stocks are absolutely spiky as anything, aren't they? But I've got a reversal zone down here at 1p. It goes all the way back down to 0, basically, but we won't go to that. So far, what do I think? Well, if I'm going to apply the same rules as what I always apply, we've had one wave, that's our 2. So hopefully we should get another wave, which would sort of bring you up to about 7.25, 7.5 pence, probably a bit higher, who knows? But, from where we are at the moment, that's sort of 7.5 bags, isn't it? So, obviously it needs to sort of break and hold above this sort of resistance up here at about it's a sort of 2 cents, isn't it? And then you're going to have some other resistances here. But, it looks reasonably good as a risk reward. I mean, obviously you don't want to see it break below that 0.067 level. So, from where you are at the moment, risk reward looks pretty good, doesn't it? So, worth popping on watch list, do some research on that one. Don't know anything about it myself. Hex is my next one. And if I get that one up properly, and Helix Exploration, where do I see that one heading? This is chart request. Well, about a blue box, 30.65 up to 35.8. You're at 28.75 at the moment. That's where I see it heading. And then I think you see a bit of, turbulence in that blue box. Who knows? It could go a bit higher, but that's what I'm seeing. UOG is my next one. United Oil and Gas. Bit of serial disappointment, but it has had a good run of late. But where do I see that heading? Well, I don't have a blue box reversal zone on this one as such. Have we got a rise in SI? Haven't we got the MACD about to turn up? So breaking a hold above 0.26 level should bring you up to 0.345, up to 0.4, and even possibly 0.478. So that is UOG. Worth doing some research on that one, seeing what's going on. IMM is my next one. ImmunoPharma, and just get rid of that. But where do I see this headed? Well, for me, I think someone should kind of hold above 8.28. I think and break and hold above sort of 17.75 should bring you up to this red box here at 26.6 up to 31.6 and possibly up to 38 pence. There is a possibility that could probably go to about 70, 80 pence, but, play it safe. Let's see what happens when we get to that first target. Well, once we've broken out, of course, activate that as to a blue box and, 26.6 up to 31.6 would be my first initial target zone for that one, and then see where we go from there. So that's IMM. TRP is my next one, and Tower Resources. I haven't covered this one off for a while, but this one here, I had a blue box reversal zone here at 0.0272 down to 0.0228, which is in a longer term sort of reversal zone still. So we need to stay above 0.0194 to keep the momentum going. Break and hold above 0.05 should activate 0.0684 to 0.0816. So, that's probably a bag or two, a bag and a half in TRP. Don't know too much about it of late, but, worth doing some research on that one. SWC is my next one. This is sort of the granddad of the treasury plays, isn't it? This is one we gave that blue box reversal zone down there at 121.68 down to 79.65, which you had a bounce to the upside, but it didn't hold, did it? So where do I see that going? Well, I've got a bigger blue box reversal zone down here at 15.6. I don't think that's really going to come into play, but one would hope it's a bit of a stab in the dark. Is that we sort of want to see that break that trend line down here. So if I draw that, probably down the sort of something like that. So, that's where we probably want to break and hold above that. But that's all I can say really. There's I've got a bigger target, which would be 760 pence up to 983. But obviously, Bitcoin's going to need to rocket in order to activate that. But that's the way I sort of see it played at the moment. There's not an awful lot for me, unfortunately. There you go. AMG is my next one, and I've said Atlas Metals. But where to see that heading? Well, if you can break and hold above this sort of 45 pence level, I think you're going to go to 53.85 up to 62 pence. So that's probably where I see that one going in the sort of short term. So about 25+% return on your money. RTH is my next one. Reach PLC, and where do I see this one headed? Well, it's a tricky one, but I think there's not a blue box reversal zone, so we need to hold above 48.8. If we hold above that and break this prior high at 96.6, I see that heading to 107.2 up to 121 pence. So that's not a bad return, about 73% up to probably 100%, isn't it? So worth doing some research on that one. And E-Tune is my next one. And this one here, well, this again, I don't have a blue box reversal zone chart request, so but break and hold above 235 should bring you up to 287 to 316, which pretty much is going to be that gap fill, isn't it, at 333? So the gap fill there starts in the middle of that box at 300 pence all the way up to 333. So could be that's where the traders are expecting that to go in the sort of short medium term. SLP is my next one, and just get that one up. Platinum play, I think Platinum's doing rather well at the moment, but where to see that heading? Well, what do we need to do? We need to break that prior higher at 106 pence, don't we? That's what we need to do. Break and hold above that is going to activate this to a blue box, and then we can see that. So, break and hold above 106. That's going to bring us up to 146.5, up to 175.5, and even 213 pence. So, that's probably where I see that one going. As I say, it's another pretty good chart, actually, in the fact that we've only had one wave. We've had a nice corrective move. So, one that's a corrective. So yeah, it does look like we're going to break that high, and then we're going to go into that red box zone up there. So SLP, worth doing some research and popping that on your watch list. GEX is my next one. Georgina Energy. Since this came to market, it's had a terrible time, hasn't it? But it's had that rise up. And then we've had a fall back down, but from that blue box, I think that as long as you can hold above sort of that 4 pence level, and the bulls can step in. We've had a nice candle, didn't we, during the week? But obviously it's sold off. But if that can keep going on the weekly, it looks pretty good. Hopefully you can head up to 11.9. That's a 14 pence. So that is not bad return on your money, is it? 137% plus a little bit more potentially. So worth doing some research. Brez is my next one, and I've been asked, obviously, chart request, where to see it headed. Well, I've given this a long time back from this blue box reversal zone down here. I think we're going to see 7.78 up to 9.08 pence on that one. So, Brez looking good. ATM is my next one. I have to put that in my box up there, don't I? Because it doesn't work down here. 80 well, where do I see that heading? Well, I think breaking a hold above 0.8 pence level. 0.76 should bring you up to 0.86 up to 0.97 and possibly up to 1.2. But obviously you're going to see some resistance at the penny mark, aren't you? So probably that's my if it does break there, probably head towards 1p, and then I think you see the sellers step in. There you go. RRR is my next one. Red Rock Resources. This one here is another chart request. I don't really have. Oh, I do actually. I've got a blue box. Sorry, a red box zone. So where do I see that headed? Well, from its 0.03, you should have really loaded up in that blue box there at 0.026 down to 0.0152. But we're out of that blue box reversal zone. But we're in a bigger long-term one. But we won't concentrate on that for now. But where to see that headed short-term? Hopefully that if you can get the right wind behind it, that would. For me, I'll be targeting this red box zone here at 0.0912 up to 0.11 pence. So that's RR. My last one for today, Pulsar Helium. And this one, I've done really well out of that. I loaded up in that blue box down there at 23 pence. I rated all the way, and more sort of luck than trying to jump out of the right time. I sold about 58, 59p, so I did really well there. But where to see that headed? Well, I just want to see a bit more of a corrective play on that, to be honest. I know there's going to be lots of news due out of it. Hopefully, sort of get a 1-2, and then hopefully head up again. But for me, until that corrective move sort of played out properly, I don't really have any targets. So that's me for this podcast, and have a great week's trade, everybody. Back again soon.